We are live. Let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome back to another live and amplified Indie Fusion podcast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet. We're back at it again with another music podcast. Today, we have a very special guest joining us. We have Shari Rowe. How's it going?
It's going great. How are you, Tom?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been outside all day today. So,
Okay.
I got home at like 4:30 and I was like, I'm going to go take a nap because that sun beat the heck out of me today.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of still getting my stuff together right now, so we're good.
All right, I get it. I mean, hopefully you were enjoying yourself outside, or were you having to work hard outside?
So it was like Employee Appreciation Day, and because of the department I work in, we tend to have to like put those days on.
Okay.
So it was fun, but it was work because you know, one of those
that.
things. So
Yeah.
But excited to have you here. How's everything been going?
It's going great. I mean, we've been playing so many shows, and I've been having some opportunities I hadn't had before, like singing the national anthem for NASCAR. Did that on national TV, so that was a big first for me. And then the National Hot Rod Association, same thing. So I love singing the anthem, and to be able to do it in that setting was pretty cool. And the band is just better than ever, and we're playing lots of big shows. Did NFR in Vegas, and just so many great things, and representing different causes on my own, doing some solo stuff. So I feel like everything's been very diversified, and we've been really busy. So
right, that's one of my goals this year is to get out to NFR. I don't live far from, well, to say I don't live far from Vegas is a bit of a stretch, but it's a lot easier of a trip than it was 5-6 years ago. So
yeah. Well, you got to do it. I mean, this was my first time, and it's amazing. I mean, Vegas just turns country.
Yeah,
and it's fantastic.
Right. It is, and because I had a lot of friends that went, and everybody was asking me, "Hey, are you doing podcasts out at NFR this year?" And I'm like, "Why would I be doing podcasts at NFR?" And then I started looking into it, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I get it." So it's like, okay, I guess this year I got to go. So
gotta go. We're going back. We're playing again. At the Rio. So it was cool. It was a big watch party.
Nice.
It was the first time Cowboy Lifestyle Network was in charge of the watch party at the Rio, and they've completely renovated the Rio. And I don't know, I was really impressed. It kind of felt like a theme park in there, which a lot of the places out there feel like that. But it had a really great vibe, and the party went great, and the shows went great. So
nice. So yeah, where are you kind of going out to play right now? Are you going out like touring consistently, or is it more like one-off shows and you're just kind of doing that approach?
It's been one-offs recently, but we've got some plans for like some shorter tours, like little stints of shows. So we're heading up to Washington State. So we've got a route kind of planned there and back. So we'll be gone, maybe for a couple weeks on that one. And then we're playing Wyoming next month, and
nice.
Got some TV stuff out there. So yeah, we're kind of like going into certain areas and kind of covering a small spot at a time. So we're not going out for months at a time right now, but getting a lot,
Yeah. Well, come on down to Texas. Let me know. And yeah, I'm pushing Texas. I'm big on Texas right now. So
I love it. I'll come to Texas.
Sweet. So where are you kind of at creatively right now? Are you writing, recording? What are you kind of working on?
Both, actually. So I went through kind of just a lot of life stuff. My mom passed away, and our family just kind of went through some things. Life brings things our way, and so I'm on the other side of all of that now. We're always grieving, always missing her, but I really, as a creative, that's my outlet. I write. So I'm really excited to put a new EP out. It's coming out. It's, the first single will probably drop at the end of summer. And there's some other songs I was working on beforehand, and this one, it's interesting. I started writing and I kind of fell into the same patterns I always did, which weren't bad, but I kind of was using the same formula.
Hmm.
And I then kind of deviated from that and I helped a good friend of mine co-write his project for him. And he's kind of an indie Americana artist. He's also the fiddle player in my band and he's amazing. Stephen Bowman. He asked me to collaborate on that and co-produce it. So we co-wrote this whole EP and had a whole theme. And it was a really interesting perspective shift for me.
Hmm.
And I realized that I seemed to be more able to be more vulnerable in my lyrics and my writing when I was kind of taking someone else's story.
Mm.
Um, but after I finished that project, I was like, I need to bring that back to my own writing. I need to be able to be authentic and kind of take some of the walls down and maybe go a little bit deeper. And that's what I did. And I managed to kind of get into that headspace. And I'm I just feel like it was a huge step forward in growth for me, I feel like as a songwriter. So
Mm. Uh,
I can't wait to put these songs out.
I can't wait to hear.
Yeah, thank
You know,
you.
it's so first off, apologies about losing your mother. I went through that a couple of years ago myself, and
Thank you.
it's
Sorry.
never fun. Was there a point where you didn't think you were going to come back to music after going through that, or was music kind of your solace during that point?
Yeah, I mean, my mom was so proud of, I mean, I believe she still is so
Mm.
proud of the music and even as she was, passing, as she was sicker and in the hospital a lot. I had written a song about my dad actually, who he's been gone for over 20 years now,
Mm.
and I had this song kind of on the shelf, and I kept kind of going back to it, and I felt like I couldn't finish it. I felt like nothing I was writing was really conveying what I felt. And it actually was Bowman who said,
Mm.
I know you feel stuck on that song, but remember, that's not the only song you're going to write about your dad.
Hmm.
You don't have to tell the whole story exactly right. And so I was able to finish it. And I honestly didn't ever consider putting music aside when it came to losing my mom. And because I took that song that I wrote about my dad, I sang it at her bedside before she passed. And I knew like music meant so much to her. She wasn't a musician, as a career,
Yeah.
but she always, wrote songs when we were growing up. She would write a song about anything, the
Hmm.
birds in the sky. And so I feel honestly very close to my mom, even when I'm performing now, and my dad too, for that matter.
Nice, nice. Yeah, that's that's really I don't even know what the word is I want to use right now. Like it's cool, it's nice, it's sweet. It's like all these things that you feel this connection through your music with
Yeah.
your mother and actually your parents to the degree. And
Yeah.
the fact that it feels like your music is almost keeping their memory alive in some way.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. Yeah, I got chills when you said that because I just posted yesterday a video from singing the anthem
Hmm.
at the NHRA,
Hmm.
and as I got up there to like every time I do the anthem in particular, because my dad was in the military, I feel like somehow I always look for a little sign, like maybe somehow he's cheering me on, or God is letting him kind of have a window to see what's happening, and it's all a mystery. But I have seen so many signs when I go to sing the anthem, and I stepped up on the platform and the dragsters were getting ready like right in front of me. Like as soon as
Hmm.
I sing that last note, they're hitting it. So their whole team is bringing the cars in, and I'm thinking about my dad. And I look over to the left, and my maiden name is Reed. And I look up, and Sean Reed is coming up. He's the first racer.
Hmm.
So I didn't know who Sean Reed was, and
Hmm.
drag racing was new to me. So I just see this whole team coming up, and I just see Reed, 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 on their uniforms and on the car and just everywhere. And I'm like, okay, Dad. And I just felt like that was a huge sign. So even when I do things like that, I do feel very close to them.
Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. So you said an EP in the works?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is everything like recorded and it's just kind of a matter of getting it out, or where you kind of at on it?
We are. we're hurrying to get the first single out
Mhm.
because it's one, and I feel like there are lighthearted songs on the EP as well, but I just feel like I've been in this season, and if I don't let that out, I feel like I'm doing myself a disservice, and
Mhm.
I need to express that. So, one of the first songs I want to put out at the end of summer is called "Too Good to Go," and I had a health scare and really thought it was bad. I mean, I got like the worst report you could think of, and we were at the point where, there were tears and laughter and a family was coming together and I had to cancel, a show and I canceled band practice. And that night was just, I thought I was, not going to be here much longer. And turns out everything's fine. So I'm thankful for that. But it really gave me a perspective in seeing how my family and my bandmates and everybody came together to support me and how this life is just so beautiful.
Mhm.
And I have so much to be thankful for. And I ended up turning that into a song. It's too good to go. I wasn't ready to go yet. And I'm glad that God gave me some more time.
I love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So that one we're rushing to get out. So that'll be out at the end of summer, and the others will follow. We've got some stuff, tracked, but it's one of those things where I had a bulk of material suddenly.
Mhm.
Just gave me things to write about, and they're things that I really feel passionately about. So we're kind of just like record, put it out.
Yeah,
Just get it done.
for sure. It's so the EP is in an ever changing state,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah. It's just kind of like it's happening. And I felt the momentum from like,
Mhm.
from a couple months back to now. It's just, I feel it, I just
Mhm.
feel this creativity explosion and we're running with it.
Mhm. I'm waiting for the moment you decide, we're just going to continue releasing singles and
Yeah.
scrap the idea of an EP and just like,
You know what? That could happen. I don't,
mm,
I see it. And it's so funny because even like some of my co-writers that I love working with, um, they've been texting me all these ideas, and I feel like we're all kind of on the same page. So,
yeah,
yeah, let's just keep going.
nice. Who are you writing with right now? Do you have like a core group that you like to write with, or is that ever changing as well?
Yeah, I've recently, so I always Stephen Bowman, who I mentioned earlier, we're a great writing team together. I love producing with him. He because of his fiddle playing background and because he's also very well versed and educated in symphony and strings, and I
Mhm.
mean he's just very talented. He hears so many parts that he hears them in a different way than I do. And so he's going to co-produce this project with me. So he's a key writer always. And then Zoe Jean Fowler,
Mhm.
amazing writer,
Yeah,
artist. I mean, I wrote with her. I usually have a core group, and I always kind of go back to them. I say, hey, let's set up some rights because when the relationship works, I mean,
yeah,
it's so beautiful. Like
yeah.
it's so valuable, and if everybody feels that, it's a great relationship. And
Oh yeah.
so yeah. So, and those guys, I mean, Mark Addison Chandler, we wrote The Heavy and we wrote Long Hugs. And he's one of those guys, like you get in the room with him and you start hashing out ideas, and then some kind of switch turns on, and he's just like, bam, 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 bam. And you just like, whoa, like what just happened?
Mhm.
Magic just happened. So, yeah, he's great too.
Nice. It's like one of those things where you've got a good relationship built, and then like when you feel, I'm guessing as like time kind of moves on, if you feel like you need to get a different perspective, you'll kind of go search for somebody else or see who else is available.
Yeah, I mean, I like to be open to writing with new people because I feel
Hmm.
like that again, you just never know, what the chemistry is going to be like. And some people you write with a couple times and it's good, and maybe you'll revisit it, but there's just some kind of fire that happens with certain people. So I like to stay open to um, writing with new people. I mean, if I hadn't written with Zoe Jean Fowler, like I would have never known how. I mean, she jumped in on Too Good to Go, and that was like just an amazing write. So gotta stay open.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, I know you'd mentioned that you've got a bunch of shows kind of in the works and you're doing nice little runs here and there. Are
Yeah.
you have any shows like coming up like the next couple of weeks or what's
This weekend we're heading up to Prescott, right here in Arizona, in my home
nice?
state. We're playing at Matt's Saloon. So I don't know if you've heard of Matt's, but it is
I
like,
I've only been to Tucson, so
okay,
that's
all
yeah.
right. So Matt's up in Prescott is a true iconic historical honky tonk. I
Hmm.
mean, it's on Whiskey Row in the town square of Prescott,
Yeah,
and you literally feel like you're going back in time.
nice.
It's the old West, and the stage is like above, like you have to like even just getting up to because it's like an old building, so like
Hmm.
getting all your gear in, you're like on this little winding staircase, and the stage is like what almost to the ceiling,
Hmm.
above everybody. You can see the whole bar, you can see the front doors, and it's just like it's it's a cowboy bar. I mean,
Hmm.
it's perfect. So
Right.
we got a 2 night stint there, tomorrow night and Saturday night, and and then we've just got, like I said, just a few things around town. We over, I would say historically, we haven't played a lot of bars in our home state and like clubs. We generally play festivals, and
Hmm.
we've played more outside of Arizona than
Yeah.
in Arizona. But lately, I have a new management company, DDP,
Mm.
and Dennis Petty is my manager, and um, he's just really great at building relationships that like we have a place we play here in town now, like every 6 weeks.
Hmm.
It's called Foley Ranch.
Nice.
And we've never really been on rotation here in town like that, but it's kind of been our home base. So even though I'm reaching out to play more festivals still and the bigger events, it's kind of cool to have a spot where my Arizona family can
Hmm.
come on a regular basis. Plus, we just get to have fun. The
Right.
band, any chance we get to just like drive down the street instead of drive a couple states away.
Right.
So it's fun. We've been doing that.
Right. 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 It's funny. Like I just got asked about a thing out in Tucson, and like I enjoy Tucson. I haven't been up to Phoenix because you're in Phoenix, right? I'm guessing if
I'm in Glendale, just like
okay,
the Northwest Valley. Yeah.
okay, got it, got it. I Arizona's always been really hot. Like I lived in New Mexico for 4 years,
Yeah.
and there's a couple times where heat stroke almost took me out, and I
Yeah.
feel like Phoenix or Arizona in general will be way worse.
Yeah.
But
Yes, it's true. People underestimate the danger of the heat for
right,
sure, especially this time of year. It's spring and everyone thinks, "Oh, it's not summer yet." There have been many rescues off the mountain already.
right,
People come visit and go hiking and
right.
don't bring enough water, all
Oh,
that.
oh yeah. It's well, and it's not even water. Like the one thing I learned the first time I went out to Vegas, um,
Yeah.
I was just fresh out of college and I was living with my parents, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to Vegas for a few days," because my dad was a pilot and he had a trip out to Vegas, and he had like a 2 day layover or something, and he was like, "Hey, let's go," and I went and I drank in a 36-hour span. I drank 4 gallons of water, and
Wow.
I was still dehydrated because I was flushing all my electrolytes out of my
Yeah. Oh,
system.
that's true. Yeah.
And when I got on the plane to go back, I was just like a zombie. And they're like, "You need to drink Gatorade." Like,
Yes,
so
exactly.
yeah, it,
Yeah,
it was
crazy.
bad. So,
It's gonna happen quicker than people realize.
oh yeah, for sure. Well, and it was also July. So that feels like the
Yeah.
worst time to do that. So, yeah. So are you born and raised in Arizona or?
I've been here since I was two, so I consider myself a native. I was
Okay.
born in New Jersey, but
Oh,
I don't know anything about New Jersey. I think I maybe have a couple relatives there still,
yeah.
but everybody kind of migrated out west. So
Gotcha. Was that I'm assuming jobs with the parents and all that
yeah,
stuff, or
my dad. I think that's why my dad moved us out here. He was a little crazy, and he changed his mind about a lot of things pretty often.
hmm,
So it doesn't surprise me that he would just move everybody across country I think he came out here, gosh, when I was two, I think he came out here and bought a biker bar. He was a little rough around the edges, Dad.
I love it. That's so
Yeah.
funny. But
Yeah.
it's one of those things like when you say a cross country move,
Yeah.
that is the literal definition
Yeah.
of a cross country move. So,
Yeah, for sure. But I love Arizona. I'm so glad we landed here. I'm
mm,
just like, I feel like it was meant to be, or I don't know. But we've lived in Nashville off and on, and we go
mhm,
there a lot to record and all that. But I don't know. The West just feels right. The big open sky, the
mhm,
dry air. I don't think I could live anywhere where it's humid. Well, I
right.
know I can't because we tried in Nashville, and I was like,
Mm.
mm-mm, no.
Oh, I'm dealing with that right now. It's starting to get a little like I lived in Florida for 2 years and that was humid.
Yeah.
And like Central Texas, where I'm at now, like the humidity isn't like crazy like it was in Florida, but it's
Right.
still high enough where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this is annoying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not my cup of tea.
Hmm. Right, right, right. So, so outside of music, what do you like to do? What do you like to get into to kind of decompress?
Oh man, I love camping. My husband and I, so my husband plays bass in the band, so we get to tour together and it's great. Like we've seen the world together. But out of every place we've been, I mean, we've seen beautiful places, but the mountains here in Arizona, that's where we truly feel like we're getting away from everything. Camping trips, no signal, take a satellite phone for emergencies, just disappear. The White Mountains, almost to New Mexico, actually.
Hmm.
It's some of the highest elevation in Arizona, and there's so much wildlife and we're a little crazy. We go during monsoon season because we want to see the big storms. They're crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
you're way up on the mountain, so you're seeing the thunderstorm come in, and you're seeing the lightning strike the meadow in the field, and it's just we've been barbecuing steaks, and the storm comes in, and somebody had a pop, a camper.
Hmm.
We have a pop up, but we're literally grilling underneath the awning, and we're like yelling because the rain is starting to come down so loud. We're like, "Take the corn, run to the trailer!" Just yeah, we love being out in the wilderness. I don't think there's any other place that makes me feel quite like myself other than
Right.
that. Yeah,
Right, right. And even the drive coming into Arizona is like I don't do a whole lot of hiking and outdoor stuff. That was
yeah,
my like when I was in my teens and stuff, I was all about that. But now it's just kind of like I'll go outside and enjoy it. But
yeah,
and also trying to do that here in Texas doesn't sound like the brightest of ideas in general. So
yeah.
um but no, it like just the drive through like coming through from New Mexico into the southeast part of
Mhm.
Arizona where I don't remember even like what rock formations or whatever it was we were driving
Yeah,
through, but it was just like that was really cool. So
that's beautiful.
yeah,
So nice. Yeah.
nice, nice, nice. Um, so you spend a lot of time outside, which honestly, that's a very common thing amongst musicians, which feels like it's like their disconnect from
Yeah.
like everything that the music industry is. So
Yeah, I would agree with that. And it's also very inspiring, at least I mean for me. I've written a lot of songs about drives and, being in nature, and the song that I wrote about my dad is literally called The Woods because we lived in the city growing up, and like I said, my dad was rough around the edges, and he had a story, and it's a beautiful story that just came full circle, but we didn't always have it easy growing up. There was a lot of turmoil in our
mhm,
family. We lived in a really not great part of town in Phoenix, and between the turmoil and the area we were living in, and just everything that life and family brings, um, every once in a while, usually, hopefully every year, if not a couple times a year, we would head up the mountain to go camping, and it was so interesting to me to see how um, we as kids kind of had this weight lifted because we were excited to just get up there, go fishing, and just
mhm,
like be together. But I also saw my dad change when he was up there, and he didn't have the heaviness that he had down in the valley. And I think it's so interesting that we were going from the valley to the mountaintop, and we were all our best selves up there. And we connected in a different way, and we were working as a team, and building the fire, and I don't know, it was like who we were meant to be.
mhm.
So I tell the story of my dad in that song The Woods because that was a beautiful time we had up there.
right. So it almost makes you wonder, like, should you have just moved up into the mountains and
I
been
know.
mountain folk?
Yeah, I know. I actually, yeah, I always, our family was the one who always talked about buying land and never did.
Right, right,
You
right,
know, we just stuck in the city. So, but yeah, I think we were meant to be in on higher ground.
right. And there is something about it. Like it's just relaxing. Like
Yeah,
like I mean, back in the '90s and early 2000s, these weren't like a thing.
right.
Well, I mean, they were, but not
Yeah, I know
quite
what
to
you mean.
the
Yeah,
extent.
sure.
But still, there was still so many distractions across the board. Like when you do get that opportunity to go up into the mountains, and it's like, okay, you don't have the TVs buzzing, you don't have the phones going
Right.
off, and
Hmm.
you're just kind of disconnected.
Yeah, there's something about it. I think it's just good for us, like physically for our brains and everything. It's like I think we just lose sight of so many things, but I
Hmm.
think we also lose sight of just being in the moment, you know, not having all of the distractions constantly. Like can we be still and just look around and,
Hmm.
you know, just kind of take everything in? I think it's really healing.
Hmm. Yeah, it's I was watching a movie the other day, or I was watching a video or a movie. I don't remember exactly what it was, but they were talking about living with the earth and not on the earth.
Oh, I like
And
that.
I was like, that actually makes a whole lot of sense. Like, and I feel
Yeah.
like when you're up camping and just kind of doing that, and
Yes.
that's kind of what you're doing is you
Absolutely. I
so
love that. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
nice. So, kind of looking forward. Obviously, you mentioned you got the first single of your EP coming out at the end of the summer, and
Hmm.
can't wait to hear that. Are you doing any kind of music videos or anything like that, or are you just trying to get the music done and you'll go from there?
Like, I think the way this process has been going, I think it's going to be, you know, it's just going to be a hurry up and get it done. As we're inspired, I think we're just going to make it happen. So I would anticipate that there will be videos. For which ones, I don't know. Probably the first one, I would imagine.
Hmm.
Um, I have so many ideas, and so does Bowman, and we're just like, I don't know. Like I said, we got that fire, so who knows what we'll do.
Right, right, right. I
Lots
love.
of stuff.
I dig it. I dig it. Is it um is it one of those deals where you think you'll press like hard copies of the EP when it's done, or do you think it'll just be like a digital project?
I really want, I know this is super trendy, but I'm hopping on the trend. I want some vinyl. I
Hmm.
just like, I want beautiful artwork and I want to hold something in my
Hmm.
hand. And I think a lot of people are liking that right now. So, yeah, I mean, it'll be obviously primarily digital, but yeah, I want something I can hold.
I think vinyl is kind of one of them things that it what didn't go away,
Yeah,
but
right.
it just became so expensive to produce that
Yes.
it wasn't produced that often.
Right.
And now, like I was literally yesterday because I was like, you know what Live and Amplified needs to do? We need to start producing vinyl.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I started like pricing out machines and all this stuff. And I'm like,
Nice.
oh, I'd have to move out of this apartment. This apartment would not be happy with that.
Oh man, I
So,
know. Well, yeah, it was, you know, obsolete for a long time,
mm,
and now I don't know. I think so many things find their way back
mm,
again, and as the world does get faster and more technol knowledge, oh my goodness, advanced,
yeah.
I feel like people are coming back to some of the simpler things.
Hmm.
So that's part of it.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's well, and I think for me personally, vinyl just has this, even if you it has like this aura of I love listening to music, so I'm going to put this vinyl on, and it's an experience. It's an audible
Yes,
experience, but it's an experience.
it is.
And then just kind of looking at the cover, and if you depending on what kind of cover it is, it got a whole bunch
Yeah,
of the like the inserts and stuff,
yeah.
or so you have that, but then also if the cover's really good, that's just like a standalone piece of art.
Sure, absolutely. It's more immersive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which honestly, there's a theme to this podcast because it's coming back to being in the moment and
Mm-hmm.
like slowing down. So I think that's, yeah.
Yeah. And So when did you kind of come to that realization that you needed to start to be in the moment a little bit more?
Oh man, my mom instilled that in me. I feel like my whole life. She literally would say, I call her every day, probably several times a day. And if I was overwhelmed or stressed out, she'd always say, Sherry, go sit outside, put your face to the sun and breathe.
Hmm.
She'd tell me to pray, or like she was always the one pointing out the birds, and she
Hmm.
was always putting out, bread for the birds. And she just took such care with her flowers. I mean, everything flourished that she planted, and she paid attention, and she was just nurturing in that way. And she didn't miss anything. Like, she was very aware. So I feel like she was teaching me that my whole life, really. And so even in the afternoon, like she'd have coffee every afternoon. I think that was the Jersey back east kind of thing, a hard roll or like a pastry or something, or
Yeah.
donut and coffee. And now, even to this day, everybody in my family, if anyone's nearby someone's house, like we'll call, like, is the coffee on,
Hmm.
and everybody still stops in the afternoon. And she taught us that.
Yeah.
So,
That that almost feels like a very Midwest thing. That was something that always
yeah.
happened in the Midwest. So I grew up in Chicago, and
Okay. Yeah.
that was something that was very common where, oh, somebody's in town, they're gonna come and have coffee.
Yeah.
And you'd come in like late after or early afternoon, late morning, and
Yep.
mom was sitting there with somebody having coffee, you know.
Yep. And
So
I feel like it is like a nod back to simpler times, when people did have time to stop in. And
hmm.
so I'm glad she taught us that. I think also my grandparents were born and raised in Poland, so I feel like
Mm,
it's a very European kind of thing to do also. And I've tried to carry on some of these things because I've just really, I can feel it in my, like, I can feel it in my heart, like the value of those things. So I don't want to let them go.
for sure. Go Poland.
Yes.
I'm half Polish, so
Oh,
it's
you are. All
yeah.
right.
I'm
Yay.
half Polish, half German, so I don't. It kind of explains
Yeah.
the interesting dynamics in my
Yeah.
family. But
Great.
I don't want to keep you too much longer. For people that want to check out your music, shows, social media, all
Yeah.
that fun stuff, where's the best place to find you?
The website's always the best place to start. So the name is spelled SHARIROWE, which you'll see on the screen, but I know sometimes people have a hard time. I just go to Starbucks, and who knows how my name is going to get spelled. But yeah, ShariRowe.com. There's so many links to everything there. Music, social media, all that good stuff. And of course, Instagram. A lot of people just go there to link in bio, and there's
Hmm.
everything right there. Yeah, my music is available anywhere you stream music. So,
Love it. Love it. Can't wait to hear the new music, and hopefully we get a chance to connect at CMA Fest. And
yes, I would
so,
love that.
you'll be at CMA Fest?
I'm planning on it. It's
Okay.
nothing. Yeah, yeah. We'll
Nothing.
let the creek don't rise.
No, I'm still waiting for my media credentials to get through, but
Okay.
I was there last year, so hopefully I'm just
Yep.
saying hopefully this year, you know. But
I hope.
now I know my way around it. I won't buy the unnecessary $200 parking pass at Nissan Stadium, and yeah,
Exactly.
so I'm good. I'm happy now. But really appreciate your time. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will catch y'all later.